Eric Davis here, the Executive Director with TVSB. Eric, this is an exciting night for you, I assume?
This is a big night as we bring the Media Awards to Carpinteria here on a perfect day in February. So yes, we're excited to bring together the 200 of our closest friends that make community media what it is.
Hey, I am here with Rebecca Brand. Always fabulous to see you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Leanna. So nice to be here.
So you are no stranger to these award shows. I know you have won an award in the past. Any pressure this year to try to win another award?
It's always nice to be recognized, but everybody here is a great producer. The shows here are wonderful on TVSB, and anybody can be part of TVSB. So I just feel privileged that this platform is in our community for anybody who wants to make a show to air it.
Here you are, here tonight at the awards show, 45 years later, and you're going to be doing a retrospective. Tell me a little bit about what people can expect to see in the retrospective.
Everything from how we got organized and made the presentation, the actual clip, a clip from the presentation, and then the evolution of what happened afterwards, all the way up to the expansion of cable TV.
The TV Access Awards, the Media Access Awards for Santa Barbara are here in the city of Carpinteria. How exciting is that for you as the mayor to see that happening in the city of Carp?
For me, for it to happen is great. I've been through quite a few of the other ones in the past, and to have it in our own hometown is even better, so I'm glad it's here. Hoping you guys enjoy it.
Nothing so loud, searing when we lie. Truth is not kind. You said neither am I. The air outside so soft, saying everything. All I want is to feel this way, be this close, feel the same. All I want is to feel this way. The evening speaks, feel it say. Nothing so cold, closing the heart, and all we need is to free the soul. We wouldn't be that brave, I know. The air outside so soft, confessing everything. Everything. And all I want is to feel this way, be this close, feel the same. All I want is to feel this way. The evening speaks, feel it say. And it won't matter now, whatever happens will be. Though the air speaks, so all will never be. It won't trouble me. It won't trouble me. And all I want is to feel this way, be this close, feel the same. All I want is to feel this way. The evening speaks, feel it said. It feels so close. Let it take me in, let it hold me so I can feel it say.
So we are going to do take a look back at the opening of community access television in Santa Barbara. It's a total swing here. It's going to be something incredible. Ira Opper, are you here? Ira, can you come up to stage? And JP too, to get everybody rolling. So here's the story. I'm in the office one morning, and somebody walks in and goes, hi, I founded Community Access Television in Santa Barbara in 1974. I'm all, wow. Okay. And then we sat and we probably talked for a good 2 hours. His stories were absolutely amazing. Over the next couple weeks, we traded some emails, some photos, and when I knew we were going to have an award ceremony, I wanted to bring him here because the origin story of any program, any business, any brand is so important. So Ira's going to take us through a fun retrospective. I hope so. Okay. JP, while you're queuing that up, do you want to say a few words to get started?
Hey, a shout out to all you guys. You're the ones here to win the awards, which is pretty awesome because you're getting recognized for great things that you've done for Santa Barbara and Goleta and Carpinteria, where I used to live. So I put together a PowerPoint with some video clips, and I'm going to take you on my journey of how I ended up on this stage. So I guarantee you, nobody in this room is going to guess why I'm there, but coincidentally, it's a Carpinteria cop, so that's neat. And like I said, I lived in Carpinteria, so this is like amazing that I came back and all this is happening. So, obviously when you have a cop's knee in your back and you're getting handcuffed, you know, you want to kind of readjust a few things. So my epiphany was hey, let's start community TV. So 1970, Isla Vista. I was a Arizona State broadcast journalism major, now the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. And I surfed, and I'd come back to Isla Vista, hang out with my buddies, and always there was some photo assignment or something I could knock off, get a few waves, have a really good time, and then go back to ASU. Unfortunately, this trip, this guy, so I'm trying to set the stage. It's kind of turbulent times, right? The unfortunate thing for me was I was staying in his apartment and had to call his parents and tell him he's in jail, sneak into the apartment and get my stuff and get the hell out of Isla Vista. So it was this was all that curfew violation when things were getting kind of heavy. So the social changes were happening, and that's Santa Barbara's point. Cable TV, Santa Barbara cable TV. $5.85 a month. You got 12 channels. 12 channels. Channel 2, you couldn't watch. KEYT was the only thing you could watch in Santa Barbara. So you couldn't watch any TV, basically. 2 to 12. 2 was CBS. 12 was KCOY in Santa Maria, which was also CBS. Point of interest. That installer was the guy you saw in the previous picture, Jeff. So obviously he was not convicted. Charlie Bensinger, me, Innovision. After college, I moved to Santa Barbara, and Charlie and I started Innovision, which was the first video production company, independent production company. Mind you, we had to explain what video was back then. And this is the El Presidio. We rented 2 studios for a whopping $300 a month. And we had one was our production side, the other were our offices. And we did production, we did classes, video labs we called them, and we sold equipment. So that's how we survived. Until so here's this story. It costs a lot of money to do video at that time. So we ended up getting the state of California's first grant to implement police training in the state of California. And we did it. You can see I'm laying in the dirt. And I'm also the producer. This was my first real gig after college. And the point I'm making is the video gear was that camera and the little portable setup, black and white, was $3,000 in 1973 dollars. So, and we wanted to do local cable. We wanted to get on cable. That was our ambition. We knew the FCC mandated public government and educational access. We had the equipment, we had a business, and we wanted to do something. And so, Ralph Nader comes to town. Hal Conklin and Paul Rellis had the Ecology Center, and they were active in Santa Barbara, as you know, to this day, I think. And Ralph was coming to speak. He was a consumer advocate, public citizen numero uno in the country at the time. He was speaking out about nuclear energy and the danger. And we videotaped him and went to Santa Barbara Cable TV with the videotape and said, hey, it's this greasy manager guy. I go, hey, we want to run this thing. You're not running any local programming. And we want, we did this videotape and it's cool. And he goes, $50. And we go, that's not right, $50. And I said, okay. We were teaching classes through UCSB Extension, accredited classes. Then they crewed it. So we got UCSB to cut a check for $50 out of their supply budget, and we bought the time, which was kind of irritating, but we did it because we wanted to say, hey, we want to get this thing off the ground. So we postered all over Isla Vista and Santa Barbara, like a surf movie, because we're all surfy kind of guys. And then, the paper ran a little thing. The News and Review, I think it was called, was an underground paper in town. They pumped it. We were all excited. It was pretty cool. So we go over to cable TV, and this is what they hooked up for us. Swear to God, these are actual pictures. I'm not making it. The first thing was kind of funny, but this is like for real. So we hook up our equipment. We're all like, ooh, this is going to go over well. And, this is 2 minutes. I'd like to share with you what it looked like properly. When it was cablecast, it sucked. But can you roll that, Oscar, please?
Lead us into a prominently consumer-oriented energy policy is the health and safety. Years ago, when people grumbled about their electric utility, it was primarily economic. If they didn't do anything, they might received higher rates. Now, if we don't do anything, we get environmental devastation, not just the more traditional types of offshore spills or of coal being burned under uncontrolled conditions, but the real awesome risk, which is nuclear fission. Here we're dealing with issues that can only be called survival for large portions of the country which might be subjected to a nuclear fission catastrophe. Here we're dealing with a technology that is going to be deployed in the form of 1,000 plants by the year 2000. There are now 44 operating in this country. A technology that has to be perfect forever, or the alternative is catastrophe. There's been no technology that has not had in one or more of its parts a maximum credible accident in the history of the world. Cars crash, planes crash, the Titanic sunk. The space race has had maximum credible accidents, both in the Soviet Union and in the United States. And this is an area where no expense is spared, where the goal is zero defect, where the controls are heavily in the hands of a highly disciplined technocrat, unlike nuclear power, which is diffusing throughout the country in the hands of the utilities, who are highly high technology experts. The utilities who've never done any research and development. Consolidated Edison in New York, its principal innovation in the last quarter century has been to paint its smokestacks red, white, and blue. The utilities. We have a diffusion in the transportation area where deadly radioactive waste that have to be contained from humanity for over 250,000 years. So deadly are they, such as plutonium-239 and its cancer-causing potency. They are
Okay, that's the point. That's the point of inflection. That tape, of course, they screwed it up. It looked like, you think that looked bad.
Of course, one of the...
It's haunting me now. So, we ran into Leo Martinez, who was a young city councilman, had just won a state Supreme Court ruling to run, because over how many years he lived here, so. Cool guy. We ran into him having breakfast, surrounded him while he was having breakfast at the El Paseo. And we go, Santa Barbara Cable TV charges money, and it's not right, and the FCC said this. And he goes, come to public comment at City Hall. Tell us their story. So we did. And I got up there, my partner Charlie got up there. We got up there and we told them what happened and how they screwed it up and how here's a canceled check, charges $50, supposed to be free. They ruled. A couple months later, they came back and said, and this is when I learned it was Cox Cable, not just Santa Barbara Cable TV. Cox Cable's franchise in Santa Barbara is up for review and possible termination for violating the Federal Communication Act. Oh, we got their attention. We got everybody's attention. It's like, oh, community TV. So they sent all the suits out from Atlanta to find out who the troublemakers were. Whoops. Boom. So, one of the guys, John Long, came from San Diego. He was in charge of the West Coast. A young guy came to my office, wanted to meet with us. I told him I was busy. Called me twice on the phone at my office. Finally picked up. Said, look, I'm going to lose my job at Cox if I don't talk to you guys and figure out what we can do to solve this problem. He goes, let's go to dinner. I said, Chart House? You know. He said, yes. So we met at the Chart House. He goes, what do you want? And I went, surf and turf and a beer. No, I go, I want a van, I want a studio, I want crew, I want access, I want Channel 2. Boom, we got it. I got hired in April of 1975. Cox bought the van. We plugged it in the back of the building. That's moi. I got a haircut. Cleaned up their playback so that things worked properly, and launched community TV. And the news press was very supportive, if you can believe that. And I had to do most of this stuff. I mean, I was literally on air, running around. I didn't, producing, getting people to come in, on the street, doing whatever I could to get this thing off the ground. Oscar, here's some little clips we're going to share with you.
We need to tune in to Community Television Cable 2, the community service channel that is where shows are produced locally.
Mm-hmm, sure have.
What do you think of that?
I think that's very good. That's been very entertaining. I really like the sort of the broad scope that's shown on it.
Have you had an opportunity to watch any specific, is there any specific shows that come to mind that you enjoyed on Cable 2?
Not right off.
Have you had a chance to watch The Mayor?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so who shows up first? The mayor. So Meet Your Mayor with David Schiffman was our first project. And then here's a comment, if Oscar will.
Many people find that it's very informative, that it's the best way they have of keeping up to date with what's going on down at City Council and things that are generally of importance in the city. So as far as I can see from the office of the mayor, with a responsibility to help communicate to the people what's going on in our city, I think that this show on cable TV is very effective.
Have you had an opportunity to watch Community Television Cable 2 during the evening hours where we do locally produced shows?
No, I didn't know about it.
How about you?
Yeah, a couple times, whenever there wasn't anything else I was watching, something that was interesting, watching some of the candidates and that type of thing when it was the local elections. I thought it was kind of interesting.
So we started doing candidate forums. Then it dawned on me why the city council was so supportive, and everybody else is like, oh, perfect, we have a voice. Let me share this little clip. It's
I think this cable television station is very helpful to me in reaching my constituents. Everybody is able to watch network news, to watch the big Los Angeles channels, and to get all kinds of state and national news, but it's very difficult for local congressmen and other elected officials to compete with that news and to get their views across, to let their constituents know what is going on. And I think for that reason that this is a very valuable service. I've heard very good reports on it, and I think that the cable TV station is to be commended for doing a very fine public service job.
We're at Santa Barbara Cable TV talking with Larry Herzog, General Manager, and we're asking him what he thinks of local origination Cable 2.
I'm very enthusiastic about community television and community access programming as we're doing it today. I think Santa Barbara's, probably more than any other community, show a very strong and active interest in local affairs. I think this is our company's opportunity to make a contribution to that community effort. I think local programming by local people about local events has a definite place in Santa Barbara.
So, politicians, no problem. So then we go, hey, let's balance this thing and start inviting some of the other points of view and actually creating shows for it. So Gordon Forbes, who has Pacific Coast Video, has been here forever, did Get Up, Stand Up. And Tom Hayden, when he was out and about, was invited on. It was an incredible opportunity for us to have him on. Julian Bond, the social activist. Obviously, the three of us all went to the same barber, too. But this was our best get. This started to change things for us. This was Jane Fonda at her finest. And we did a show called Woman's Spectrum with Lois Phillips. And this clip is so relevant even to this day. Awesome.
I have the honor on Women's Spectrum of speaking with an American actress of international acclaim. Join me, I'm Lois Phillips, as I discuss filmmaking, politics, and family with Jane Fonda. Seems like in a lot of your speeches you are talking about values. You're talking about your own personal anger at or with the American dream. And I'm wondering if you still feel angry about so many of the things that you've castigated America for during your initiation into activism.
Yes, profoundly yes. I have been for 12 months traveling this state, and I am moved to tears literally almost every day by what I see in human waste, in the unfulfilled human potential, in women who can never and will never be able to develop themselves as human beings, for basic things like they don't have child care, they don't have any way to develop managerial skills, they're put into occupational ghettos and there's no way out for them, and I am enraged.
40 years ago. So things started, people started to pay attention. We rolled that van, covered parades, covered volleyball. We were having a good time. Increased the quality of the equipment. Cox was very supportive all the way through the process. Kevin McNally worked for me for years. Better sets. And then the kids took over the candy store. Cox wanted us to sell advertising. So we came up with this crazy idea called the Worst Movie of the Week, and we licensed public camp 50s black and white movies. The cool thing was we could do anything we want commercially because it was cable. So we won some awards. There was Montecito Wine and Spirits, this high-end wine and spirit place. They were big supporters of Procter & Ward. These two comedians were on the radio. They did the nude news on K-Tide. They claimed they were naked, but it was satirical. It was way before all this other. Matter of fact, this is 10 years before Wayne's World. And these guys were hysterical. For example, we had High School Confidential we played. And High School Confidential, Russ Tamblyn, Mamie Van Doren, I think Michael Landon. It was about pot smoking in high school. And this guy was like a narc. And so as a community service, Procter & Ward took drugs on the show so the parents watching would have a better idea of the effects. As a matter of fact, Rick Slade's here. He was one of the first helps us sell advertising on cable TV. Then KCOY got really upset with us because we were selling advertising, and they came down here and they sold advertising. So they jumped on the Fiesta Parade and did the straight coverage. So in my infinite wisdom, I go, hey, let's have the worst parade coverage ever. And they go, okay, yeah, Procter & Ward will host the parade. It'll be awesome. And we sold out like in 15 seconds. It was so cool. So this was a full-page ad we ran in the news press, in the Saturday edition in the calendar. So people were paying attention. We had a color in the poster contest. We had fun. So we rolled the van, set up the equipment on State Street, Procter & Ward. Okay, give it to him, Oscar.
There's a nice lady having trouble with her horse. This is the Spanish lady, another honorary marshal, and you can tell all the marshals.
This place is lousy with honorary marshals.
You can always tell the honorary marshal because they're carrying those warrants in their hand. Hers are pinned to the side of her horse right there. Must have been painful.
She's been in this parade 54 years. And on the same horse.
Are you
what a horse? How about that?
What a woman.
Yeah, really, I'm amazed.
That horse and that woman must be tired.
Showing true spirit and showing off.
Showing more than true spirit.
Lovely. Now you know why she's been in the parade 54 years.
Well, you know, you can't have a lot of fun if you're an older woman.
You've heard about them. You've
asked about them.
Right. Here they are, the Santa Ana Winds.
Yes.
Of course, the famous marching band. That now they're called the Santa Ana Winds, of course, because they do exactly what the California legislature does all year, which is do nothing but blow hot air at everybody. You know?
See, I've always wondered about that.
I believe we're going to be honored with a selection from these people here. Yes?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Here they are. They're playing, of course, the favorite Semper Albondigas, which is the only Spanish march ever written by John Phillips Sousa.
Yes, it means something about meatballs, but I don't know what.
Forever Meatballs, I think.
It's meatballs forever.
I see, yes. It's one of his lesser-known compositions. I know that. John Phillips was in his. He was in an advanced state of senility when he wrote that, I believe. Let's listen to the band.
Let's give a listen to the Santa Ana band. You know, Richard, I hesitate to point out to you, I'm quite offended this band does not have any wraparound sousaphones. There are no E-flat or double B-flat basses.
I don't see any, no. Yes, I see a couple of tubas, which have that mewling, flatulent tone.
Yes, those are recording
compared to a sousaphone.
Well, now here's two floats, so they're kind of crowding up on us. Now, these are the native sons of the Golden West coming by right now. And also, you might add, here comes one of the Santa Barbara's finest by on a beautiful, look like a no, it's a Kawasaki. Yes, carrying a sporty stainless steel 357, and he's waving it in your face. You're really in a lot of trouble with this traffic.
Now, of course, these gentlemen are part of, these are descended from the actual people who came and discovered California from the Indians so many years ago.
An hour and a half. I wanted to point this out. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, prime time fiesta. Only 12 channels. Anybody in a hotel room could not click by and not see our irreverent parade coverage. So, following council meeting, standing room only, fire Ira, shut down the cable company, get rid of this community television. This is horrible, this is disgraceful, this is all that. And what happened is none of the councilmen were in town for Fiesta, so nobody saw it. Everybody leaves, right? So they asked us if we'd show it at City Hall, at Cable 2. Sure, come on down. Well, under the Brown Act, it's open to the public. So my boss comes into my office and he goes, Curtis, he goes, you got your ass into this, you better figure out how to get it out. And what I did is I invited all my friends in town to come laugh and watch the parade coverage with me. So they all showed up, matter of fact, my friends here. And Oscar, here's KEYT's coverage.
Santa Barbara's cable coverage of the Fiesta Parade continues to make waves tonight. At noon today, city and Fiesta officials, along with what seemed like every reporter in town, gathered to watch the replay of the controversial parade coverage. There have been numerous complaints calling the coverage and the commentary by the Proctor & Ward comedy team irreverent.
Right up in the mountains and look around all day, find people who are nude, and then take a picture, and then tell them to put their clothes on. I think so, yeah. I don't understand. Maybe they want to get their police officers. They know along with their vice servants. That's right. They ran out of people looking for them. They got down the road, they ran out of people up there to find, and then they went down to the four-way street.
But even some city officials laughed at some parts of the replay today. After viewing the hour replay, reporters talked to Mayor David Schiffman, who had been the butt of several of Proctor & Ward's jokes.
Would you like to see the city be able to prevent something like this from happening again with the Fiesta?
No, I don't think that's really within the city's jurisdiction as far as I know. To say what goes on. I think there's a lot of feelings against it on the part of perhaps people who are very closely identified with Fiesta. And there'd be a lot of people who I think were lampooned in their vernacular that would feel it very much put upon and feel probably pretty badly about it.
Fiesta President Ed Cellini and Grand Marshal Milton Weinstein said the cable coverage was an unfortunate insult to the Spanish heritage represented by Fiesta. Cable program director Ira Opper explained that from the beginning the intent was not serious and that it was promoted as the worst parade coverage ever. Some of today's viewers agreed and some didn't. And I asked Opper if the controversy would influence future decisions.
The people of Santa Barbara and our subscribers should just stay tuned.
Cable company has a franchise agreement with the city and a rate request is currently being studied. The Fiesta coverage will undoubtedly come up during discussion of that rate increase.
So the next morning, my dad calls me at 6:30 in the morning. He lives in LA, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing up there?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Did you see the LA Times this morning?" I go, "No, I don't get the Times." He goes, "Go look at the third page." So this is what they ran, and it said, there's things you don't laugh at in Santa Barbara, right? Motherhood, the flag, and the Santa Barbara Fiesta Parade. So we're getting some attention, letters to the editor, going back and forth. Most in the beginning, there's a wave. They wanted us fired, out of town, shut down. People went nuts, and I've saved a lot of them. And then the news press came out with the freedom of bad taste editorial, and free speech people jumped on it. And the wave came back the other way. And this was the line I loved that they did. Every American has a right to be corny and in bad taste, and television has exercised this right on a regular basis for many years. Meanwhile, you retain the right to turn off the corn. So, yippee. So, Proctor & Ward decided to have a press conference at the scene of the crimes. Oscar?
Noon today, Mark Ward and Richard Proctor called a news conference on the downtown street corner they referred to as the scene of the crime, meaning where they were when they did their satirical commentary.
Let us examine the facts. We refuse to make an issue out of the fact that the city council and other officials involved in this protest are humorless, dough-faced paper shufflers with nothing better to do with their time than engage in 20/20 hindsight. We refuse to make an issue of the fact that the city council is attempting to soothe their wounded egos by reaching for the political blunt instrument of a proposed rate hike cancellation to beat on Santa Barbara cable TV producer Ira Opper. We refuse to make an issue of the fact that Proctor & Ward were nowhere near State Street last Thursday. Even if they were, their minds are being controlled by little green men from outer space.
Although the comedy team said the controversy surprised them, they admitted there could hardly be a better boost for their careers, as the story has now hit major news services. On a serious note, Proctor told reporters that he and Ward provided an alternative parade coverage, knowing that commercial stations would do a straight play-by-play.
So TV Guide, #1 magazine in the country at the time, did a story about us, which got a lot of press, got me, a couple job offers. So it was quite exciting times, but we didn't stop. We kept it up, and Proctor & Ward did the history of Santa Barbara and got chased from historical site from historical site to historical site by the native daughters of the Golden Arches. Which was the biggest donation RSVP ever got. And we won the highest award in cable. We got the Cable Ace Award for a courageous use of basic cable. So there is life, right? And you guys are all trying to do your best, and sometimes you gotta kind of, have a sense of humor. So, Kate, let me just finish up. My goal, I was going to move to expand my career to San Diego, where I've been since, because what happened next is they launched the satellite communication, SATCOM-1. Santa Barbara was one of the first communities in the country to have an Earth station where we could receive HBO, Showtime, Nickelodeon, WTBS, CNN. Those were all the first cable. We had grown our system to 35 channels so that we, in anticipation. I knew I was leaving, 6 months before I actually left. And I wanted to wait until we got our refranchise. And in the refranchise, we locked community TV in. We locked a budget. We locked government, public, and educational access for 15 years. And I went down south and started producing what I always wanted to produce, which was extreme sports, mostly surfing, for all these guys. And now, ironically, I am trying to get people to cord cut cable and sign up to, I have the Surf Network, which is the Netflix of surfing, which I started several years ago, and recently partnered with Amazon Prime subscription. So in conclusion, thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for keeping this up like you have. I'm very proud, and everybody I met is awesome, and all you guys, just, keep the charge up and stay tuned.
Wow, it's great to see such a full house for all the people who make community access what it is. Now's the time we are going to celebrate you, the stars of community access television. If you're a member in the house, would you raise your hand? Woo! Thank you for being here. Okay, and to help us get through this award portion of the ceremony is a good friend of mine and somebody John Palmentary. Will you come up and help? Thank you so much. So John's going to help us guide us through a major portion of it tonight. So once again, John Palmentary.
Well, it's great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of big award ceremonies going on this weekend, aren't there? We have a Teen Star going on tonight up the street. Hollywood's trying to put together some kind of event tomorrow night. They can't get a host. You know what I told them. I'm going to be here with TVSB. You know what they told me? You still working for nothing an hour? Double for overtime? Aren't you that guy sleeping with that electronic police radio between your... Oh wait, that's a Procter & Ward line. Can we talk about that here? No, he says, whoa. You weren't loud enough, in my opinion, so suck it up and give it to Ira one more time. I mean, that was worth the price of admission alone. So that's it. We're going to the Palms for steaks, and the show's over. Okay, so I'm done. I'm kicked off. Like my evening newscast, I've already gone too long.
There we go. How about the Santa Barbara Award for John Palmentary?
I want to make sure Fritz got that. Fritz, did you get that? He got that. He wants to do it again.
Okay.
I'm all for that.
Thank you, John, for really all you do in this community and for supporting us here tonight.
And did you put a mustache on it with a Sharpie? There's a Sharpie mustache on there.
Okay. A few thank yous, and then we'll get started handing out some awards. How about the Alcazar Theatre? Yeah, give it up for them. Yeah, they've been very generous with us tonight. And we have elected officials from all over Santa Barbara County. Santa Barbara Mayor Kathy Murillo is here. Santa Barbara Council Member Kristen Snedden. Santa Barbara Council Member Oscar Gutierrez is up in the top. County Supervisor Dawes Williams is here. County Supervisor Greg Hart is here. I saw the Mayor of Carpinteria, Wade Nomura. And Goleta City Councilman Stuart Kasdan is here. If I missed anybody, I don't think so, but I'd also like to say thank you to the Board of Directors. If you're on the TVSB Board of Directors, would you please stand up? And thank you for your leadership, your stewardship, and thank you to the City of Santa Barbara, who's been an incredible partner and supporter of public education and government access, as you can see from the very beginning. Just a few more here. Thank you to our lead sponsor tonight. Impulse Advanced Communications is in the house. My first call as executive director was to Impulse to put in some 5G Wi-Fi for us. Now we have a video conference center, and we just installed new phones 2 weeks ago. So thank you to Impulse. And thank you to our Rose sponsors, Ravel Orr and her fabulous group of all-stars. Tracy Beard, thank you so much. Michael Mongol, Jerry Roberts, Megan Aline, and Jeff Green. My wife and mom are in the house. Thank you. And a big thank you to all of you who have made 45 years of community television possible. So, now let's have some fun and celebrate the stars of TV.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is our Entertainment Award. And if you've ever watched Channel 17, you know this is definitely one of the most entertaining shows. It's an award-winning talk show which brings celebrities and a wide range of people into Studio A, including a live audience. I was fortunate enough to be guest number 2 on the show, behind the Baron. I think he brought his top hat and his horn that goes, and that scooped me. I mean, he just got the inside shot there for show number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome to the stage our Entertainment Award winner and a longtime friend of mine, Ken Boxer.
From the American Riviera in Santa Barbara, California, it's Ken Boxer Live, Santa Barbara's one and only entertainment talk show. Let's welcome the host of the show, Ken Boxer.
going to keep the show moving tonight, so if you do get an award, we're going to give you a chance to say something, but we're going to give you 30 seconds.
Thank you so very much to receive this. It's a surprise. Next Monday, this coming Monday, we're doing our 88th show. And just as a plug, we have Michael Champion from the television show Fuller House will be on. And then 2 weeks from that is Billy Vera from Billy Vera and the Beaters. He'll be on the show singing some of his hits. But I wanted to thank everybody, including Eric here, who's been so gracious, as well as the entire TVSB family and my entire crew and my directors, JP. He's wonderful, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Boxer. Production companies often use TV Santa Barbara for the studios and for the equipment and facilities which are available to the community. This particular production team partnered with TVSB and produced an incredible series with 12 shows that are now airing on TV all over southern United States. The Best Series Award goes to Animal Zone. We welcome up the Conlon family to accept the award while we play the video.
Zone, where we will share what everyone from psychologists to cardiologists agree on, that having a pet can change and even save your life. Whether it be a cat, a dog, a bird, or even a tortoise, having a pet in your life may be one of the most rewarding things you can do for yourself and for the pet.
And a big shout out to Arthur von Wiesenberger, who wanted to be here tonight and has been a longtime producer of community access shows. On his behalf, as the Conlon family, congratulations.
Good evening. I'm William Conlon, Director of Animal Zone. Thank you so much for this great honor, really appreciate it. Arthur really wanted to be here, but he's out of town right now. I'd like to accept this on behalf of Arthur, our producer Harleen Conlon, cinematographer Gary Conlon, and all the people who made this possible. There were a lot of people involved in this production. We want to recognize the incredible support of the Santa Barbara Humane Society, the Wendy P. McCoff Foundation, and all of the Animal Zone heroes who adopted animals along the way. They are the true heroes of this show. We're producing our second season right now, and we're looking forward to showing it on TVSB. Thank you.
A special thanks to the Conlon family. They produce a lot of great local television, some of the best we could possibly have, and some of it airs on Channel 3 and TVSB, and we're so happy to have the Conlons. And Will just did a movie that was in the film festival about the masks on the Planet of the Apes, and he got 2 or 3 showings of it, so congratulations once again on behalf of everybody in this room to the Conlon family. To present the next award, we'll bring our presenter up over to Eric's microphone, Hibba Hamden, who is a lead programmer and really makes the channels go. And I'll have you go over there to make our next presentation. Thank you, Hibba.
Thank you. Our next award is the Influencer of the Year. And what would you say with 30 million views of her YouTubes? What would you say about her being awarded by YouTube as a rising star after having exceeded 100,000 subscribers to her channels? And the new definition of the word influencer was social media and all the clicks, and the traditional definition, which is to inspire us to live our happiest and healthiest life. It's my honor to present this award to Rebecca Brandt.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Brandt, and this is the Santa Barbara Mission. I'm going to take you to the top 10 tourist destinations in Santa Barbara.
Come on up and accept this award. There you go.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. It looks breakable. I can break it.
Congratulations, Rebecca. The mission of TVSB is to provide open access for people who want to tell stories, share ideas, and create TV shows. The mission of TV Santa Barbara is to empower people to make media that matters. Every 2 weeks, these two award recipients, having been producing shows every week at TVSB for more than a decade, they embody the spirit of community access, and we are so proud to salute Bob Lovegren and Gigi Amore. Come on up, Fred too, and accept the TVSB Mission Award while we play this video.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Medical Hope. My name is Bob Lovegren. It could be a benefit to mankind as far as a medical breakthrough of some kind.
The purpose of our show is to share with you how to connect compassionately within ourselves and with others. We're in our 14th year of airing every week, which is just wonderful.
Amazing, Gigi. Come on up. And thank you for doing this. You know how hard it is to do a TV show every single week? Wow. Congratulations. You are.
The power behind my show is the words that we say, to be able to connect on a heart level other than what's up here in our ego, and how to really enrich and inspire our collective consciousness. I'm blessed. Thank you.
John, I'm going to jump in and interrupt the flow of this thing. We're celebrating the stars of community access, but there's a couple people that behind the scenes that produce the shows that I want to shout out to. Ken Baxter, Michael Nicholson. Would you please come on up and grab a couple awards? The Producer of the Year's award. You know them, you love them. They help produce a lot of these shows here on TVSB. We'll cue a little music and we'll have some fun as they walk up on up. This is unexpected.
And you know, Fred is in the house. He didn't come up, but Fred, you can just wave.
Yeah.
There you are. Fred was supposed to come up with Gigi, but if you want to come up too and just, you kind of shared Gigi's award. I don't know that you're getting another one, but I wanted to acknowledge you. Let's acknowledge Fred.
Our producers at TV Santa Barbara.
Producers. Fred, you can have Gigi's award every other weekend. Did you see the mug on Gigi's set? You didn't notice that? Just watch the replay. There's two big red lips on it. Awesome. Good for ratings. One of the cool things to happen with the use of Studio A to showcase local musicians, giving them a voice and a chance to broadcast their talents on community access television through the show titled Local Music. The three musicians that performed here tonight all appear on TVSB's channel. We are proud to give the Innovation Award to the person who made it happen. Come on up, Daniel Bollig, to receive the Innovation Award as we play your video. Congratulations, Daniel.
So loud, even when we lie, truth is not kind. You said neither am I. Yeah, outside so soft, saying everything, everything. All I want is to feel this way, be this close, feel this
Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank all the wonderful local musicians and my family. Thank you.
Congratulations. Great job.
So, John, this has been quite a year. You know, I've been executive director for a year and a half now, and over the last, 18 months, we've been blessed with some incredible new shows. Submissions from all around the county, shows produced internally, Studio A, Studio B. So we wanted to just say thank you to a lot of the new shows that have taken place over the last year.
And you've got a title here called the Creator Award, because they go from what, travel to religion. They also have health and fitness. Some are produced in the studios. Others are submitted from residents from around the area where they're videotaping around the country. Let's take a look at some of the shows.
Hi, this is Eric Durek, and welcome to this edition of Med Health Fit, the TV show that integrates wellness and healthcare.
Welcome to Travel Today to Dana Point, California. Join me, your host, Leah, as we go to South Orange County to a beautiful coastal town.
Welcome to Dying in Grace. This is a show dedicated to talking about all aspects of death and dying, living well, all the taboo subjects so that we reintegrate death as part of the life experience.
And we've been doing this show now for almost a year, and I'm so grateful, I'm so excited.
You've been running for a year. I am very proud of your show, and yeah, that's amazing. That's really amazing.
You could be watching any show in the world. We're so glad that you tuned in tonight and watched us.
Eric, Arlene, Chuck, and Leah, please make your way to the stage so we can say thank you. Thank you for bringing fresh content to the channels. Here they come.
Hi, I'm Leah, and I am really happy that you guys enjoy travel, because without you, I wouldn't be able to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric from Med Health Fit, and I'm going to make a big shout out to Michael Nicholson, because without him, my show would not take place. And we're starting our 5th year, and it's mostly due to him. Michael, we love you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Arlene, and besides Michael Nicholson, I must thank my husband, Elliot Jacobson, who's my producer and supports every crazy idea I come up with. So, thanks.
My name is Chuck Reed. You could be at any award show in the world, but you chose to be here. And so we thank you for coming out tonight and supporting TVSB. Thank each and every one of you. Thank each and every one of my special guests, from Courtney to John. I want to really, I got to go home tonight. I want to thank my beautiful bride, Joyce Reed. Could you please stand up? Could you just please stand up for me, dear? Just let them get a good look at you. Let them get a good look at you. Oh, my. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Big John. Thank you.
Chuck, we know you're a pastor. Any divine words you want to bring the Lord into this for a moment? Ladies and gentlemen, your silence for a moment from the pastor.
Whatever you do, please pray for John Paul Montero. He was a guest on my show, and I thought we were going to get on the show and we were going to do giggles and jokes. And we started talking about the tragedy of the slides. and it changed my opinion of you and us and what we do, because we honor and we're grateful for the first responders, but you talked about the second responders. And you were there with your team covering what most of us were shocked by. My wife works for Montecito Fire. I work for the PD. You were out there every day, every night, and we want to really thank and recognize you for the labor that you do. Give John a hand.
Thanks, Chuck. I just thought you were going to lead us with the Our Father or something. Thank you, Chuck. He's on the streets of Santa Barbara. I run into him a lot, and we have a lot of good bonding, a lot of positive synergy for our entire community up and down the South Coast. So he's on to something. Now we have one of the top awards of the night. It's called the Legacy Award, and there it is. And to tell her amazing story, please welcome Mark Melson, who's been with the station for over 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mark.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. This story starts 25 years ago when a show about seniors called Alive After 65 with Captain George was looking for a co-host due to the declining vision of the host. He was legally blind. That list includes many of you here tonight. Lori wanted to continue producing content after Bill retired from the show, and I am privileged to help Lori with her own production, which she calls Our View. I like that title because it's not my view or her view, but our view, which embodies what community media is all about. Please join me in honoring the 2019 Legacy Award that goes to Lori Hall Smithers.
Welcome to Our View. I am Lori Hull Smithers. Today, I am honored and pleased to have with us, who is also a special friend of mine and colleague. This studio and myself are honored and delighted to have as our guest Judith Smith-Meyer, Katie Laris, Rod Latham, Sarah Miller-McCune. Welcome, Sarah. I was honored to receive this award from TVSB, and I thank you, and I thank you, Mark Melson. Mark asked me to give a short talk, and I promised I'll keep it short. To start with, over 25 years ago, when I started as co-host of the show Alive After 65, I was younger than 65. And I thought to myself, gee, 65 is really old. I am pleased to report that I think 65 is very young. I want to start particularly by thanking Mark, because all 25 some years that I've been doing a show, he has been so helpful, and he now is director of my show. So thank you, Mark. I also want to thank my daughter, Diane Hull, who is here with me today, and she helps me with life as well as the show. And so thank you also, Diane. I couldn't do the show without you. And last but not least, I want to thank my husband, William Smithers, who sponsors the show, sponsors me in everything, actually. And he and I did a show for several years, like about 7 years, as Mark said, called Just Between Us. And I am so pleased. It goes worldwide. It's on the internet, SB-Just Between Us. And it not only enhances Santa Barbara and the state and the nation and the world, but we feel it enhances the life of people everywhere. Now, I think I should also thank some of the managers of the station in the years I've been here. When I started, the station was with Cox, and then it became independent, and we had wonderful managers, Hap, Skip, Carrie, Matt, and Eric. And I don't know if Carrie is here tonight or not. She became a very dear friend, and I just want to tell a short story. When she first started, Bill and I were filming TV just between us, and there was a hum in the station, and the room where we were filming. And Carrie and the crew looked all over. They couldn't find out what was causing that hum. I think it was Vince Bugliosi we were going to be interviewing. And I think she called in the expert Mark, and finally, someone found that hum. And it was my hearing aids. I had taken them out and forgot to close them. One other short story I'm going to tell before I finally stop is my friend Shelley Winters gave me advice when she found out I was going to do a show. And Mark has heard this advice every show for over 25 years. He knows what I'm going to say. She said, be sure the camera comes from up above, down on you, and not down below. Because if it comes from down below, it'll show your double chin. So Candy Carbani, who was my first camera person, heard that, and Mark has heard it every time since. Now, I would like to just encourage everyone to follow your goals and your dreams, no matter how long it takes. It took me 14 years to write the book on acting, and another 10 years to do the DVDs, which I'm pleased that Mark has made into a half-hour show that is put up, about 5 months ago on demand. So TVSB goes all over the world also. And I think when I came to Santa Barbara, I thought I was going to retire from teaching acting and writing and so forth. And instead, I found TVSB, and TVSB found me. And I am deeply grateful. Now, there's something I really wanted to say here at the end, and so I wrote it because sometimes I have a senior memory problem. So at 90 years of age, I am pleased to have the opportunity to view and interview many wonderful guests, including Bugliosi, who I'm sorry is no longer with us, and Cousteau, who has been in one show, and he's booked to come to another one of my shows, where he shows wonderful clips of the ocean, and the ocean's, I would say the ocean's influence to the world and to the climate. I am also grateful that TVSB has given my guests and myself an opportunity to have open and honest conversations. I think some of what I was going to say about how our show goes all over the world has already been said. But this show and TVSB can only exist in a country where people have the right to express themselves without fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Well, Eric, the next award goes out to the TVSB Member of the Year.
Wow, we're moving through the show pretty quickly here. This is a special award for me. There's been one person who's really advocated for me, encouraged me, really has the heart of community access television. She calls me often, encourages me support. She made tonight possible. She's brought 3 rows here tonight. She's brought members from the UK to celebrate with us tonight. It is my great privilege to honor the Member of the Year, Ravel, because without you,
Wow. I really did not expect anything. I'm really, really, really grateful to TVSB because they honestly do put up with me. And anyone that knows me, John too, I mean, I love John, but he works for commercial, and I don't like commercial stations. If I want a commercial, I'll do one, right? On TVSB. That's why we're so fortunate to have this wonderful station. And that's why I beg, borrow, and steal from myself everywhere to make this happen. When things like this is a beautiful theater. I was like so touched that when I saw Carpinteria, because Carpinteria is like a little Aussie town. You know, and people that don't know me, I was born in England, raised in Australia, and I'm now US. Hey, you know, it's like, wow, what an amazing, I step out of myself, she's had an amazing life. Now she's rebelled, you know, because there's so many of me as there are of you. Each of us have all these different, like beautiful Laurie just said, and Gigi, I can't even believe she comes in every friggin' week. I mean, I would love to be able to get to that point. And maybe I'm growing, maybe I will, but it seems like, oh my gosh, every week? So I took it the other step, and I did it at home. And I created, because my Dream Machine USA is my home. And everyone's all like, that's not a Dream Machine USA. It is my Dream Machine USA. This is the TVSB is my Dream Machine USA. Every one of us, it's your dreams. You've got to do your dreams, you know? The fact that you see a gentleman up here, you know, like Glen, Phillips, he's a local chap. Look what he did. Went off with Todd and all that, and then come back and then give us this. This is what it's about, television, you know? And I brought these guys over because that's what they're doing. They're coming from the heart. We're all entrepreneurs. Every single one of us, even you, are aching to get out of that commercial clutch. You know, the fake news. Come on, the fake news. Oh, yeah. I'm showing you real stuff, like everybody else here. We're showing you the real stuff. I can't believe I got this. I want to just introduce you to, I want my tutu time girls. Get up here. Come on, tutu time. Who watches Mini Woodstock? Who sees the tutu time girls? They were babies. They went through it. Tutu time. We saw Dominic Samario have a baby. And Samantha, teen tutu time. She's now grown up. Stand up, Samantha. Samantha. Sanda, she was on tutu time. You know, and Tiffany's story. Who doesn't know Tiffany on Mini Woodstock? You know, everybody. Beth Armin. Who doesn't know Beth Armin? Stand up, Beth. Everybody. And Liston Lawrence, stand up and watch a Cora the Prelude. They made an amazing film that TVSB showed first. If you look in the brochure, you'll see the name of it. Well, I want you to put them in your prayers and always don't lose hope in London, because you can lose hope in cold places. What's going on with Santa Barbara in the cold?
All right.
So anyway, thank you. I'm really touched. I love this guy. Is awesome. He is awesome, man.
Thank you.
That was awesome. That was unscripted. Is there anybody she hasn't named? Yes. And what did she tell me to get out of my fake mustache? She said, take that fake mustache off.
She wants to acknowledge her husband, too. Okay. And the kids are here.
Wow, Eric, halfway through the show. And
I think we're more than halfway through the show, so we're gonna keep this rolling.
Hey, we've got some special moments to mark while we're all here together. A couple of birthdays.
Couple of birthdays.
At least.
I didn't see Bob in the audience, but
yeah.
You know, I saw our mayor out and about last night, and it was her birthday.
Yay! Mayor Murillo, happy birthday. Bob Lovegren, who did not make it, he is celebrating a birthday coming up tomorrow. Anyone else celebrating a birthday? Doesn't matter. We're all getting cake.
Yes,
right?
we're all getting cake.
I understand there's a huge cake for Bob, Kathy, and anybody else in Carpinteria sitting in the lobby right now, right?
Right, that's right. That's right.
Who made it?
Local.
Ronaldo's?
Yeah.
Cool. Good choice. So after the awards, please join us in the lobby and.
Yep, there it is. The happy birthday.
There it is.
Does anybody want to sing? Yeah. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Kathy and Bob and everybody else.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, Mayor Murillo, would you please come up on the stage?
Kathy, yeah, please come up. And not because it's your birthday, it's because the city of Santa Barbara has been one of the great supporters of community access television, as you can see from the beginning. If there's anybody else from the city of Santa Barbara, Kristen, come on up to accept this award of the Community Partnership Award.
Kristen Snedden from the Santa Barbara City Council.
Thank you, Eric. You know, I was recounting that there was a city council member maybe 5 years ago that was saying, let's take the money that's supposed to go to public access TV and let's keep it. And that happened in the city of Oxnard. Does anyone remember that? There used to be public access TV there, so we put a stop to it. Remember, JP, I see you back there. And Kristen's all new to this, but yeah, I need to watch more Channel 17 again. I need to get up on my shows. Did you want to say something?
This has been so exciting to see all the different shows I've been missing, and now it's going to be running in the background constantly. And this is such an honor to be a part of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. Thanks again to John Palmentary. How about that? Hey, John, grab your trophy here. Grab your crystal statue.
All right, John, you're going to get a break now. You can sit right there for a while. I'm going to take this out and do my best Rami Malek / Freddie Mercury in a minute here. But good evening, everyone. My name's Jeff Green. I have the privilege of being your second half host. I think they thought that John would wear out by this point, but clearly not. I know there's officially another big award ceremony happening in a day or two, but come on, this is more fun, right? Like, I'm sitting next to my colleague, Lucille Bosser, and she just leaned over to me and said, this is the most entertaining night I've had in years. Partly because everyone's so shy behind a microphone. So,
So we're going to continue with the second half of the show. And to start us off here, I just want to say I'm a huge believer in community media. Let's be honest, I'm a frustrated theater major. But then I discovered, radio, community television, and I have to say that the obituary for this format has been written so many times over the years, and yet here we are with a packed theater of some fascinating people really committed to this work. And so regardless of the technological changes, what happens in the economy, what happens in our politics, having this platform in our community is critical. So let's just give a big hand to TVSB, from its founders to its modern leadership and everybody in between and everyone in this room. Thank you so much. So I get to bring up our first district supervisor, Mr. Doss Williams, to help with this next award, the Journalism Award, because journalism's a thing, by the way, people. And we're going to hand the microphone over to Doss to say a few words. Doss.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to give a testimonial for the value of public access. I got to tell you, it was amazing seeing that Procter & Ward skits, right? Were those good? Because sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. Like too many places in America, we can let orthodoxy get the best of us. And what's the best antidote for orthodoxy? Real dialogue. And real dialogue doesn't happen in 30-second segments or 3-minute segments even. It happens from real discussion. And you provide a forum for real discussion. And tonight's award, goes to one of those people that us politicians we're terrified of, you journalists, right? Come on, politicians, admit. Yeah? Though lately in the last few years, maybe the last 10 years, we've just sort of started feeling sorry for you. Because this is a tough time for journalists. Young ones can't survive. The print media is gobbled up mainly by people who do it as hobbies and not upholding the old traditions of journalism. And, I see it every time John Palminteri rolls up with no camera crew. But it's even worse when you get outside of TV, right? Outside of commercial TV. And when we're talking about people who are still doing stories in print, in a rapidly decreasing amount of print, and who are still doing stories through every media outlet still left to them. And one of them here today is doing that. Sometimes it feels like this is the death of journalism. And God help us if that's the case, because this democracy will not last without that thin black and white line that these men and women still provide. And for this community, there is one here tonight who really is emblematic of doing it beyond the rational, dedicated to it as a value, dedicated to it as an upholder of our civil society, and that's a man you all know right over there, Jerry Roberts. Jerry.
Welcome to Newsmakers. For inside analysis and behind-the-scenes commentary from Santa Barbara's top journalists and political leaders about the most important news events in our community.
Thank you so much, Doss. Being mentioned with the death of journalism.
Stand against it, Jerry. Stand against it.
It's a tremendous honor. Hap Freund should be up here, our senior, high-ranking senior executive producer. Nothing happens without Hap. And, I'm still kind of hung up on Rebecca's 100,000 YouTube subscribers. We're only about 99,650 behind that, but we'll get there. And in our fractured media landscape, if I might be serious for a moment, I want to thank all the journalists who, volunteer their time to come on the show and talk about the stories that they're covering, because we really wouldn't have a show without that. Nick Welsh, Josh Molina, Melinda Burns, Gina Magnoli, Tyler Hayden, and our 2 public officials, because we like to get the other side of things, Laura Capps and Dale Francisco. So thank you, TVSB. Thank you, JP. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you for Jerry and the whole team. So I'm going to introduce yet another elected official here, unless you get the wrong impression that there's some licensing agreement coming up for renewal. Maybe if I can get a third one up here, we'll have a serial meeting. But to start with, I'd like to introduce our brand new 2nd District Supervisor, Mr. Greg Hart, to come up for a few words. Please welcome Greg to the stage. We're going to give the Community Impact Award, and this, of course, is a critical one, so I'm going to let Greg have the first word.
Well, this is a great event. I'm really impressed by the turnout and all your energy and your commitment to community access television. This is a fun night. I don't want to bore you with another politician talking. This award is really important to recognize folks who are working on disaster preparedness. And that has been something, obviously, that's affected our community in more profound ways than we can even acknowledge, I think. We're still going through that and still healing from that. And having a community dialogue and your engagement in that way is really critical to all of our mental health and well-being. So thanks for being here tonight. Let's roll the credits of this award. And
yes, sir, Bob. So we have 2 documentaries, actually, we're going to honor right now, and I want to just name them so you can start coming to the stage. So Stan Roden, please make your way up. Hap Freund, please make your way up. And Melinda Burns, please make your way up. And we're going to talk about 2 of these critical documentaries. Let's roll the film.
In the early hours of January 9th, 2018, a powerful storm front approached Montecito.
Suddenly saw my car floating by my window, and I realized immediately what was going on.
The deadliest disaster ever to strike Santa Barbara County has brought neighbors together.
The mud didn't discriminate, rich or poor, tall or short, old or young. It took people from us.
Got a bright orange glow, some kind of fireball.
As we moved and kept our mission in the forefront of our minds, our senses were being bombarded and tested. The sheer scope and devastation of the event was still surreal.
We see things no one should see. We work in areas no one should safely be in. We are trained to save lives. We make the impossible possible.
So I want to welcome a few folks. I want to welcome, first of all, Hap Freund, Melinda Burns, Phyllis DiPicciotto, and Stan Roden. But I also want to bring up Alex Bruman and Lucas Grant, 2 of our first responders actually featured in these films. These were critical moments for us to reflect back on what has happened in this last 12 months. So please, welcome them to the stage.
Well, life is good after 65. Thanks for the great talk about local journalism, and it's just so important to have a local television station that will run community news. We got to keep faith alive, we got to keep hope alive, and I am a total amateur at this, but I was just very grateful to have such professional help at TVSB, wonderful editors, Erica Schweitzer, and a young intern named Kyle, who was amazing, sitting there hour after hour editing. I had no idea that this, was what you had to do to tell a story on film. Very difficult, very time-consuming, and another way to tell a story is always a great opportunity. So thank you very much. Jerry Roberts narrated this this film, and Hap Freund provided the professional top quality help to get this through, and thank you to Eric for allowing us to do it.
Yeah, so I wanted to thank Eric and all the people at TVSB for all the help. And we turned this around in 2 weeks, which was a lot of work. And Belinda, who is a terrific journalist and really had a great idea to tell the human story behind, so we weren't just looking at stats. And also thanks to all the TVSB people for making this great event tonight. This was a lot of work, so good for them.
So filmmakers tell stories, documentary films makers present the stories of others. And so we were extraordinarily fortunate to be able to create a relationship with the Montecito Fire Department, and then ultimately with all of the first responders and second responders and third and fourth responders that not only kept us safe, but continue to keep us safe every day of the year. And without them, of course, this film would have never been made. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Lucas and Alex is here somewhere, I know. So thank you on behalf of everybody.
We work very closely together. There are only two of us, just myself and Stan. We do everything. We do all the parts. We make it. Every film we make is like that. And this was certainly our honor to do this, but all of the films we own, and then we give them away, anybody who wants to use them. So I hope you'll see our film, and it's only 11 minutes, and if you want to use it, we certainly want you to have it. So it was a great honor, more than I can say, getting to know these first responders, and we got to know them intimately. And I'm going to turn over to Lucas. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just want to give a giant shout out and a giant thank you to Stan and Phyllis for stepping up and recreating what we couldn't, and really embodying the community of Montecito and what transpired that night, and really the recovery and the trying to move forward. We can't thank them enough, and thank you to TVSB for everything. So thank you.
Thank you all. I got to say, what I get a kick out of tonight is that all of these folks that do this media work also have had, by the way, other lives. So you've got like Phyllis DiPicciotto, the founder of our International Film Festival. You got Stan Roden, our former DA. You got Hap Freund, who used to direct this place. You got Melinda Burns, one of our most celebrated journalists. This is crazy, people. Give them a hand. All right. So in this last year, TVSB made an extra effort to get out into the community and really cover things that were happening, even if people didn't ask them to show up. Sometimes they showed up. And that's a good thing, to cover festivals, to cover events, to cover rallies, to cover debates, to cover critical hearings, to cover issues of all kinds. So we're going to take a look back at some of the things that were covered in 2018, and then we'll roll into our next special presentation.
Here's the good news. When I grew up, we were told we would run out of water, we would run out of food, the ozone posed an existential threat. We were told that all those things we were told. But human creativity and ingenuity change those outcomes.
Sometimes we have to periodically stop in the water column to allow this gas, these molecules of gas, to move out and be breathed out. But if we come up too soon or too fast, we get the fizz coming out.
Coming together as community with loved ones. This is a really, really special event. So welcome.
Our 2018 Spirit of Fiesta is Jesslyn Contreras McCollum.
Hey, Jeff, there's a real good story in there I want to share quickly. The Middle East Ensemble, one of our viewers couldn't make it out. She's elderly and relies on TVSB for her stations. So she had her daughter set up a GoFundMe page and used the money to hire us to go broadcast that Middle East Ensemble so that she could watch it. So,
like I said, sometimes they show up and you don't even know it, so just beware. Thank you, Eric. So in the wake of everything that happened last year, and of course now that's become almost shorthand for the twin disasters. Of course, a lot more happened last year. But in particular, in everything in the aftermath of the Thomas Fire and the Montecito debris flow, there was a great deal of community conversation, some opportunities to really talk about what's next. And of course, that was everything from the natural environment to the challenges with insurance companies, to what's going to happen with our commercial sector, to the challenges on State Street. And so throughout all that, there was some really difficult work, and of course, it's still ongoing. Tonight, we have a special presentation award for one of the key players in that, and that is the UCSB Economic Forecast Project. So I'd like to ask Steve Ingalls to come on up.
Today we're talking, pretty much about trade, growth, and prosperity.
What has been happening over the last 10 to 20 years?
We need to provide more education to our people.
The economy is trudging forward. Like I said, we're growing slowly. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
You've heard tonight about the disasters that our community suffered through. And I represent the board of directors of the Economic Forecast, which is a part of UCSB's economics department. And after the two disasters we had, we decided as a board we needed to get a first cut at what was the economic impact on our communities. So after about 60 to 90 days, we gathered a lot of data. We invited the California Insurance Commissioner. We invited the tax assessor, the tax collector for the county. We got the city administrator's office. We got as many people as we could to start collecting data. And we put together, in less than 90 days, a 90-minute program with a lot of editing. Thank you, Oscar Gutierrez, for helping me put that program together. And it's been running again. I just happened to watch Channel 71, and there it was. I was mesmerized by, again, some of the scenes that Joe Holland showed of before and after pictures of the Montecito debris flow. Absolutely amazing. If you watch it, it'll still shock you. So thank you very much on behalf of the board of directors.
Thank you, Steve. So our next award is a Community Achievement Award, and this is something that comes with an additional bonus of a congressional certificate because it's really remarkable. And in this community that is multicultural, is multilingual, this is actually the only show, the only Spanish language show on our air consistently to try to bridge that language gap. So I want to call up the folks first from our Community Achievement Award winner, Las Noticias en Confianza, and I see them over there. And they're going to make their way up here, and we're going to play a video and take a look at what they do.
Hago las noticias en confianza porque me gusta hablar con mi gente, la gente latina, y porque me gusta hablar de las cosas que son importantes para todos, como la familia y todo lo que tenga que ver con ella.
Me gustan las noticias en confianza porque me permite estar en comunicación con nuestra comunidad y mantenerles informados de las cosas más importantes que nos interesa a todos.
Please welcome Silvio Uribe, Enoch Uribe, and Andy. Come on up.
This is so cool. Have you seen it? It's really cool. Well, thank you so much. I want to briefly thank Eric and Mark and the whole staff, really, of TVSB. And I also want to thank my hosts here, co-hosts, Enoch, my husband, and Andy Valdez. And since I have a captive audience. I was listening to Ira. Ira. Thank you for that. That was lovely. But as I was listening to you, I realized that in all those 4 years since you started this, there has not been another TV news show in Spanish. And that is very concerning. So, what I'm going to ask you is, we have a great audience. It's getting to a lot of people. So what I'm going to ask you is to write letters to the people, to the representatives, and to everybody, because that's not right. If we're not there, the community is not informed about local issues. So I'm going to get to talk to all the elected officials here in a little bit, because we need to create kind of I don't know, something, right? Like a plan to change that. So thank you again for this, and here is Enoch.
Only remark that is really important. Part of our community is speaking Spanish, and unfortunately, not all those speak English. And we have to connect with these guys. What happened? What is the rules? How they can run the life in this city. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I just want to say thank you to TVSB, to Enoch, Silvia, to all the staff from Las Noticias en Confianza, because you are letting us keep in touch with the community, and thanks to you guys, because we are all the community, and thanks to my lovely wife Annie, because she's here with me this night. Thank you very much, Silvia, Eric.
Thank you so much. And I also want to give a special shout out to the city of Glen, who's actually funded the show over these many years. And Stuart Kasdan is here, city council member. So thank you, Stuart, on behalf of the city. Thank you very much for what you do. So another major focus of TVSB over these years is, of course, youth in media and youth media literacy. It goes from training camps to discussions about what it means to consume and understand media. And there's some training programs that they've been working on. So I want to give 2 awards, actually. I want to invite somebody up here. Courtney Fraser. She's going to talk a bit about this work, what it means, and what they're doing. So please welcome Courtney to the stage.
Hello. Thank you all so much for being here. In supporting youth programming, this award is specifically to recognize those who are looking out for our youth. This evening, specifically, these people actually are not in attendance tonight for other reasons, but I wanted to take an opportunity to really speak to you about the youth and about your impact and what you can do. The award here tonight is for Leslie Sokol. She has a show where she just takes the time to teach children and listen to what they have to say and provide engaging activities. TVSB also does an acting program with the children where we just take the time to spend time with them. If you have the ability to have a mentorship or the ability to touch someone's life, take that opportunity. We'd like to present the Supporting Youth Programming Award to Leslie Sokol and Janelle and Tiffany Thomas.
I'm Leslie Sokol, the originator and creator of the Dance Kids program. Dance Kids has been in existence for over 25 years, servicing girls and boys in elementary schools, preschools, daycare centers, and community centers.
Another thing where TVSB, we take so much time out to be a part of our youth and be involved with our youth. I really can't hold this surprise, honestly, any longer. You've probably seen him walking around this evening with a camera and just being engaged and interviewing. And we are wanting to give this amazing award, our Youth of the Year award, to Sinjin Mangold. Please come on up, Sinjin. Sinjin has been a part of TVSB summer camps for the last 4 years, and he is an amazing, amazing creative artist. Please support our youth. Do you want to say anything? Or actually, let's check out Sinjin's work online.
parents for taking me to the summer camp every year. So, yeah, thanks. I don't really know what to say, though, so.
Just say thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sinjin. That's the next generation right there. Thanks so much. Corey, will you stay here for a moment for me, too? We're going to talk about something else. So the other thing that TVSB has been brilliant at, and I have a particular love for this part of the work, is the nonprofit sector. And showing up and helping to produce and helping to cover events and helping to create videos and helping to cover the good work that really keeps this community thriving. So we all know that Santa Barbara County has more nonprofits per square inch, and I believe it is measured in square inches, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so that's a well-known statistic that we all make up day by day. But the truth behind that is the nonprofit sector, of course, makes a lot of the work that we love this place so much for happen, and TVSB has been critical in that. So take it away, Courtney. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Thank you. So, like he mentioned, the work that we do as nonprofits, it sometimes does go overlooked. By using TVSB and utilizing our resources and our staff, there are many nonprofits who have been able to showcase the long hours, sometimes the low budgets, and all the hard work that we really get to do. By showcasing that to the community, we've helped nonprofits raise over $500,000 in 2018. And so we hope to just continue to expand those stories and tell the stories of our community with Santa Barbara. So please check out some of the work that we've been doing with nonprofits.
Woo. The Apple Academy is a 4-year program where students are encouraged to take advanced classes, serve the community, and obtain leadership roles at school and in the community.
They told me that I got Athlete of the Year, and this is something that I had never gotten before. It's a accomplishment in my life and an inspiration.
What Special Olympics has brought to Jessica is that role of being part of a community, being part of the Special Olympics community, and then also allowing her to have the courage to take on these types of roles and be part of something larger with her fellow athletes.
The Boys and Girls Club of Santa Barbara has supported and strengthened our community for the last 80 years. For many, this is a second home, a second family, a safe haven to learn, to laugh, and to flourish.
To grow up without a dad and have a bunch of people see me as a father figure was like, it's really, really cool. And I love working here, and that, like, to me, that's what the Boys Club's about, is giving kids opportunities like that.
Look at that list, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that list.
It is a huge piece of my job to go out and partner and help find these nonprofits to work with TVSB and to share their message. And I can only talk about TVSB so much in the community. So it brings me great joy to talk about another nonprofit that partners with us, and that is United Way. United Way's program, Fun in the Sun, provides summer learning retention for tons of students in Santa Barbara. And we have also added on media literacy and teaching them vocational training through film. So please welcome Melinda and Katie from United.
Fun in the Sun has served local students and families for 21 years, providing them with a quality summer learning experience. The program offers participants a fun learning environment with a daily emphasis on literacy, including reading and writing. Afternoon enrichment opportunities include STEAM activities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, service learning projects, and field trips. Become a Lunch Bunch mentor today.
I just want to thank TVSB for everything they do for our community and our youth. As you've just seen Fun in the Sun, our students get to visit the studio every year. They get to learn about media literacy, TV production, how to find their voice, articulate their opinions, and present it in a very positive way. So it's been a fantastic partnership that we are so excited to continue for years to come. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much for being here to celebrate 45 years of community access television in Santa Barbara. And I'd like to thank the entire TVSB team. Give them a round of applause, please. Courtney, Mark, Eva, Erica, Oscar's up there, JP. So, hey, John, it's time for cake. Yeah. So that concludes our show. If anybody wants to, how about if all the winners come up for a group photo? How about that? Let's do that, and then that'll conclude our night. And thank you so much for your support of Community Access Television.
How has TV Santa Barbara helped you along the way?
They've just been, they're a wonderful station. I did a great session with Daniel Ballag. I played a little music in Studio A, his weekly songwriter sessions, and it's a really cool outlet to have, to be able to sit down in a nice studio and just let your music out there and you can be you.
How important is it for the people in the Santa Barbara community to take advantage of the organization and the services that TVSB offers?
So for a very small annual membership fee, someone can just walk through the door and learn how to use cameras and edit and produce shows, and it's a wonderful opportunity for people.
We wanted just to honor a wide variety of programming, content makers, new shows, community achievement. This was less of a competition and more of a salute to all of our media makers that make TVSB what it is.